This week's orchestrated outrage by the Democrats against Donald Trump is one of hundreds we've seen in the last 2.5 years, and it amounts to nothing. It's never about reality, but simply the fact that they hate him. They accuse him of committing crimes over and over where there are none. Donald Trump is transparent, unlike other politicians. That's why he was elected. That's why people love him. Now, the left wants you to believe that they would never do what Donald Trump suggested he might. He's not going to be impeached. I'm here to tell you the bottom line is that they hate him, they hate his style, and I'm here to tell you that his legacy will be decided at the polls and not in Congress or in the courts. Now, this week's kerfuffle involved the president's answer to a question by George Stephanopoulos, which caused Democrats' heads to explode. Hysteria hit a fever pitch, and in their minds moved them closer to the promised land of impeachment, a hurdle they cannot overcome. The question, whether or not, if foreigners offer information, should your campaign accept it or call the FBI? Trump said he would do both, admitting, hey, I think you may want to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. Now, obviously, you'd have to listen before you decide whether or not the information should go to the FBI. Otherwise, you could be inundating the FBI with recommendations for lunch from foreign powers. The reaction, though, from the left was swift, certain, and not at all surprising.
If we set the precedent that some people are above the law or beyond the reach of the law by not impeaching this president, not getting to the facts or the truth, I think that begins the end of this democracy.
It's a shocking statement. Accepting assistance from a hostile foreign power like Russia is treasonous behavior.
I think we have a moral imperative to bring those charges, and the House at least stand up and do its responsibility, even if the Senate won't. I think we'll see blood on our hands.
Blood on their hands. And then there was Eric Swalwell, quote, we must stop this lawless president from tearing down our democracy. Stop this lawless president. Are you suggesting that what he said was illegal? Now, if it's so bad and unquestionably illegal, why did Senator Mark Warner, try to introduce a bill to require campaigns to report foreign contacts to authorities? And why now? Isn't it curious that now they want to make it illegal just so they can add another trinket to their Trump impeachment jar? For ironically, the very thing they've been doing for years. And then there's the head of the FEC, quote, accepting such an offer is illegal and accepting foreign aid is illegal. Really? Where have you been for the last 6 years? Both Schiff and Warner have readily accepted information from foreign governments. In fact, Schiff couldn't wait to talk to the Russians, who were actually comedians, whom he thought he was getting information from on Trump. Take a listen.
And she met with Trump and she brought him 1-hour Russian girl, celebrity, Olga Buzova, who also known as a person with a strange reputation.
Olga, and how do you spell her name?
Olga Buzova.
And what's the nature of the compromise?
Well, there were pictures of naked Trump.
And so Putin was made aware of the availability of the compromising material?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. We will be back in touch with you through our staff to make arrangements to obtain these materials for our committee and for the FBI, and I appreciate you reaching out to us.
Good old Mark Warner had extensive contacts with lobbyists for a Russian oligarch who offered him access to Christopher Steele. At the time, he was a top Democrat, that is Mark Warner, in Senate Intelligence, leading the congressional investigation into President Trump's make-believe ties to Russia. Additionally, the DNC collaborated with the helpful Ukrainian government on opposition research to undermine then-candidate Trump and bolster good old Hillary. But the trifecta is Hillary herself. She was in a campaign when she laundered money through a law firm, Perkins Coie, to Fusion GPS to hire a foreign spy to work with the Kremlin to create a false, fake, lying document that was illegally and knowingly presented to our most revered law enforcement agencies, to a highly respected court, to then illegally spy on an American citizen to get information on an opposing presidential candidate. Now, I guess Stephanopoulos missed that one. And I'm sure his contribution of $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation had nothing to do with his missing it. Not to mention Hillary and her hubby got well over $100 million to their alleged 501c charity from a Kremlin-connected company for the sale of 20% of our uranium, America's uranium. Not to mention that Bill pocketed close to $500,000 for a speech that he gave to a Kremlin-connected company. And Saudi Arabia gave up to $25 million to their foundation. You think all these took place without any conversations, without any meetings, without any exchange of information? Not that anyone from a foreign company has even offered me opposition research, but my position on it has been the same for years. Take a listen. Now, as someone who's run for office 5 times, if the devil called me and said he wanted to set up a meeting to give me opposition research on my opponent, I'd be on the first trolley to hell to get it. And any politician who tells you otherwise is a bald-faced liar. Well, the devil never offered me anything, but now it's the Democrats dancing with him in their evil plot to subvert democracy and take down a president they simply hate. And that's my open. Let me know what you think on my Facebook and Twitter, #JudgeJeanine.